Well, this is our SEMA project for 2015. It is a supercharged 5-liter Coyote motor that we have in there, putting down about 650 horsepower at the tires. It runs on ADV1 wheels. It's been lowered about 1.5 inches all the way around for handling. We've completely redone the interior, and obviously the paint on the outside is a beautiful gold fleck. First and foremost, obviously, is the supercharger on the vehicle, as you can see by the pretty window in the hood. The display is the gold supercharger. That's a 2.9 liter unit from Whipple Superchargers out of Fresno, California. It allows the current motor in the Mustang to produce in excess of, like I said, 650 wheel horsepower, up from the standard 435. It makes the car very lively. It's very fast. It's really a terrific union of power plants in the vehicle, so it was really a good choice. The stock unit on its own is really a fantastic vehicle, and I enjoy driving the vehicle itself. It's with the new independent rear suspension on the vehicle compared to the solid axle in the outgoing model has really led to a wonderful experience in driving. I mean, cornering now, you no longer have to worry about maybe the car unsettling itself if there's little jostles in the road. Now it just settles in and really grips and goes. I think the entire package in a stock trim is really terrific. I personally don't think a whole lot needs to be changed. It then becomes a matter of preference to the people who buy it. This one's been taken for a drive by both myself and our master tech mechanic at Galpin Autosports, Ray Petrosian. It really, really runs well. I mean, I guess the best analogy I can tell people is it suddenly feels like it doesn't weigh anything with that supercharger. You step on the gas and the throttle response and everything, it just launches, and it feels so light, like it's just going to push forever. It doesn't feel like you're kind of going 60, 65, 67 and a half. It just goes. The wheels are from a company called ADV1, and this is really a fantastic company that's been around for quite a while. The set that we have in here is one of their higher lines and really reduces the unsprung mass at the corners on the vehicle. I think each one of these wheels weighs in at about 22 pounds versus the standard handling package on the Mustang, which comes with 19-inch wheels, and they weigh about 42, 43 pounds. So it's a huge difference. Really a fantastic company, a pleasure to deal with, and really brings forward a really quality product. Obviously, as a lot of the gearheads know, this is the first year since the mid-90s that Ford has offered a turbocharged motor in the Mustang in the 4-cylinder. Back in the 90s, it was an SVO. I think it was good for only about 200 or 195 horsepower. Well, this new one is good for 310 horsepower and 320 pound-foot of torque while still returning close to 30 miles to the gallon. It's a really torquey motor down low, really a pleasure to drive. And the nice thing about it is it's going to be very malleable in terms of tuning. So I'm sure Ford Racing will bring forward one of its tuning components, and there's a lot more horsepower and torque to be gained out of that. Ford still has still carried over the outgoing 6-cylinder motor, which was there was only 2 motors last year. Now there's 3. It's kind of the middle motor and is more your economy based, and you're going to find that at the bottom line. And then, of course, you jump into the 5-liter Coyote motor, which is good for 435 horsepower and 400 pound-feet. So all really solid power plants, but the 2 desirable ones are going to both be the EcoBoost, which is, again, the turbocharged 4-cylinder, where you not only get the horsepower and the torque, but also the gas mileage, and then, of course, the 5-liter, which is your fun car. There's always room for improvement, and as most of the gearheads know, in the aftermarket, the minute any new pony car or sports car that gets released, obviously the tuners are on it right away, and our Mustang does have Steeda components on there, so the vehicle is lowered. It does handle a little bit better. It does firm up the suspension quite a bit, and again, with MagnaFlow exhaust on there and the Whipple supercharger, it really makes a nice complementary package. So, again, it's all what the buyer wants, but yes, any of the Mustangs can be improved from stock. Stock-wise, you know what? I think that the layout in the vehicle is really fantastic. They've done a nice job because it has more of a European flair to it now, and I think that was kind of what Ford was aiming for when they took the vehicle to be a global platform now. Because obviously this vehicle is going to be accessible in many other countries, and Ford is even building right-hand drive for the countries that have that, like Australia and the UK. But the interior setup on the vehicle, even for somebody my size at 6'4", is very comfortable. There's plenty I actually have to move the seat forward a little bit. The center stack, all the controls are really terrific, and I love Ford's idea of, instead of putting miles per hour, and they put ground speed in there, so everybody gets the idea that they're cruising along. Personally, the first thing that I would do is I would add the lowering springs. I'm more of a race guy, so I want to have that suspension add-on that's going to lower it and make it handle a little bit better. After that, I would probably move into the exhaust system. A lot of people like to hear the V8 rumble a little bit more. Even in the EcoBoost, there is an exhaust add-on that adds a nice little blurb to it because they don't quite sound like a V8. And then after that, if you really need to get into the performance end of it, you really need to push the horsepower. That's when you would head into the supercharger realm.